him.
Oh, there we go.
Photograph of Patricia Clarkson. I thought she was imprisoned right here in this room, but there was no one here. Where could she be then?
Okay. I will inspect the non-mandatory things first.
Why do you think Jethro here survived?
Why?
I mean, doesn't he look like the kind of guy who'd die first in a horror movie?
Yes.
He married into the Clarkson family. He didn't possess Clarkson blood, so he had nothing to do with Helena Doman's plan.
The blood purge thing? But if that was all there was to it, then Helena Doman wouldn't have killed anyone but Clarksons, right? Yet a ton of the Clarkson gang members died, along with Sheriff Woods. Doesn't add up.
She did whatever it took to achieve her goals. She'd kill if the plan required it. But killing people outside of the Clarkson family was never a priority. Her ultimate goal was to cut off the Clarkson bloodline. Maybe he was always meant to be an assistant to the goddess of fertility.
What, like a servant?
He was the kind of person who was most in his element when he had someone to serve. Even afterwards, he let Patricia take over the estate, while he became her assistant.
Huh.
As soon as he settled into his role, the townspeople started to respect him.
Well, if they still have the estate, then I guess that it didn't get totally leveled.
Right.
Now they practically revere him, and he's even earned himself a nickname. One-Armed Danny.
Huh.
So you think his life played out exactly the way Professor R planned it to go? Talk about tragic.
Speaking of Professor R, look at those boxes with the letter R on them.
Come on, Agent Jones. I know you're hiding something.
What?
What are you talking about?
You've been watching him for 4.5 years, haven't you? Can you really stand here and tell me that you never saw a single one of the strange signs I'm picking up on now?
What signs?
Deadly premonitions.
They really like that line.
Preparations for kidnapping.
They never said it
or
in the first
terrorist
game.
Activities. Sexual depravity, violent tendencies, self-mutilation.
Oh, did you notice that on the inside of the door frame there seems to be a baggie nailed up that seems to have some San Rouge in
Oh,
it?
yep. I didn't see that before.
That's weird.
Or even just contacting a specific person periodically.
Hey, where does that other door go?
Probably like a closet. Or it leads out into the hallway again.
I was gonna say, I think that leads to the hallway just by the perspective.
Nope. Nada.
Oh, look on the right side of the photos. That's from the first game.
Yeah. Hold on, there's a picture of Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Harry at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which means that's
Interesting.
Anagram at the top there.
Okay.
He doesn't fit any of that.
I thought I saw Lysander to the left of Anna. He's right behind Simon Cheek right now.
His head moves a little sometimes, and it kind of looks like Lysander.
You think I'd really ignore something that obvious? I may be a schlub, but I'm still an FBI agent.
Then why didn't you do anything about this room? Or did you merely choose to ignore his abnormal proclivities?
You want to know what I did? I did my damn job. End of story. I was outside the entire time. How do you expect me to notice a room like this from out there? It's as simple as that. At least it was, until you dragged me into this whole mess. Don't blame me just because your big investigation ended up leading nowhere.
Then tell me the truth. After seeing this room, can you really say that man is in his right mind? He kept this room a total secret from you for over 4.5 years. No normal human is capable of such a feat. Only a true genius. Or a true monster. Can you really guarantee that he won't try anything if we just let him go here?
Well,
Then you need to help me. Find some sort of evidence that we can use to make him reveal what he's plotting.
okay.
Do you think Zach is gonna go to jail in the end of this?
I don't know. I'm also still suspecting Simon Jones of something, and I think it might just be that Forrest Kaysen has, taken over Simon Jones's body.
I wouldn't be shocked if it turns out there's something more going on there.
I was so positive, but she isn't here. There is something about this room, though. Agent Jones, what do you think?
Me?
Yes.
I'm not as smart as you. Why are you even asking me?
Are you hiding something?
Of course not. Knock it off. Me? Hiding something? That's a good one. Come on. I got nothing to hide.
I thought I would find answers in this room. I thought that Patricia would be here, but I was wrong. This room is only filled with photos of people related to the case and the handiwork of a madman. Feels like I'm wandering through a heavy mist.
Did you notice the wig on the deer in the top right?
Mm-hmm. I think we saw that the first time we were here.
Looks like Lena's, and then there's a bear in the top left with an eye
With
patch.
PJ's eye patch, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is Morgan showcasing those women's photos? And that bed.
The color is garish.
Is this supposed to be the altar from the site where Lise Clarkson's body was found?
I also
Why would he
loved
want to
Lise
replicate
Clarkson.
that inside of his own home. There's no way this man is sane. Sheriff Melvin Woods. I never met him myself, but his face makes him look like a very nice guy. His background in childhood didn't have any red flags either. Yet we're supposed to believe that he was one of the masterminds behind that entire incident? After she lost her family in the Le Carré incident, she went to go live at the
The pacing for this game in regards to the reveal of each of the villains, if it's anything like the first game, once we meet the sheriff, then we have this whole other arc where we actually find out who the true bad guy is. And if it's just Kaysen again, we're just going to have to fight a god.
Yeah.
And once she grew up, she assumed control of their empire seemingly without any hesitation. She must be strong. How did she eventually come to accept her cursed blood and the fate it placed on her shoulders?
Oh, any of them is progress? I feel like we gotta go with this then. That's definitely the most interesting thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Lise have to die first?
What is that?
It's a sapling. Oh.
It's a dead squirrel?
One of the many that York shot.
What is this?
Is he
Oh,
trying to
you've
get something to
gotta be
sprout
kidding.
in it? Was he trying to get something to spread out of a dead squirrel?
I think so.
Ooh, okay.
Because remember,
loved someone from
not
the
Melvin,
bottom of your heart.
George's mother in the
Yeah.
first game was able to sprout the red tree.
Yeah.
Would you ever be able to marry someone else? Or kill for them?
Those are two very, very different questions.
Whoa, what are we talking about?
I never heard of any kind of motive like that in any other murder case. I just keep feeling like we're being fed a story that he made up in his mind.
True. Honestly, without having experienced what that's like, I can't really say what I'd do. But I'd never try and force love to happen, if it didn't seem like it was meant to be.
Do you think love can bloom on the battlefield?
There are 3.5 billion women on this planet. There's got to be more than one specific person who anyone can fall deeply in love with, right?
But what if we were talking about pizza, not women?
Oh man, hitting the hard questions.
You just discovered the perfect ultimate pizza. But you
perfectly
won't allow to
ultimate
take
great
even a
moth.
single bite,
Fuck's sake.
unless you kill someone for the cook.
I read cock. I'm sorry.
Have you ever loved someone with all your heart?
What kind of person do you take me for?
That's my line.
Hmm.
The one who took her in after the incident was Daniel Clarkson, the next in line to succeed the Clarkson family. He's the one that ended up raising her from that point onwards. Isn't fate strange? In the end, two people who were completely unrelated by blood ended up inheriting that house.
Yeah, you're right. But sometimes I wonder, what is family anyway? Go back far enough, we're all strangers to one another. We're talking countless generations, marriages, and birth, you know.
Humans love to deify the rules they create. It's almost like that's been an unwritten law from the very start. This room paints such a bizarre picture. But upon closer look, I can see some strange sort of pattern to it all.
Can you?
Was Morgan trying to recreate something with all this? If so, there must be a reason for all of these weird and hideous things.
Okay. Red rope. What?
Rope tied around a lighting fixture.
Wait, that's red.
Yeah, and it's in the shape of a peace sign.
It is.
What could it mean?
He's afraid of red, isn't he? Oh yeah, that's the right answer. Okay. And just
Actually, that's just the only one that's important up there, so...
Okay, apparently the hunting trophies are important as well. Okay, well, I want to look at these.
A woman so beautiful she felt like she could make it as an actress in Hollywood. And this is how she ended up.
A mannequin.
Sometimes it seems like God abandoned us humans a long time ago.
More
I
like a
feel more and more with
womannequin.
each new case.
Genius.
Galena Clarkson went to California to become an actress. But things never took off for her, so she eventually returned home.
In other
Then
words, she took
murdered
off.
her own daughter and ended up like this. Where did she go wrong?
I would think it would be when she murdered her daughter.
Right.
Yeah, probably.
Not as any characters with actual names. And never with much clothes on.
Oh.
So that's the only value they saw in her, huh? Sorry, that was insensitive.
It's an everyday occurrence in that world. She was also bullied a lot.
Bullied? How?
They'd cut up her costumes, her scripts, and even her own clothes.
The fuck?
Everywhere she went. Then, after 3 years of that, her stylist chopped off a chunk of her hair. By accident.
Are you kidding me?
I did a little investigating on this. In the end, a self-titled Big Cheese producer tricked her. She almost ended up going into porn.
Wow.
Not hard to imagine what would have happened after that.
One witness said that after returning to Le Carré, she refused to use scissors to cut anything.
Snah!
I was literally just about to snaw.
When Helena Doman attacked the estate, he just happened to be somewhere else. Whether it was through luck or simple coincidence, that's how he managed to survive.
I don't know, he's probably at the doctor's office for that hand.
Or getting drunk.
Yeah,
When Helena
probably.
Doman returned home, someone must have let her inside.
You think that was her brother-in-law, Daniel?
I don't know.
Well,
right,
alligators did chomp his arm off.
He did run in after the explosion, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He probably had it in for old man PJ too. But, you know, I don't think he had anything to do with this.
Why not?
You're making it out to be more complicated than it really is. That's always the problem with people like you. Too smart for your own good.
Simon, you're really annoying sometimes.
Just get to the point.
Professor R marched straight through the front door to the mansion. She arrived right at her destination using the quickest route possible without having to undergo a single security check.
I know. My question is, how was she able to do that?
Because she's family. It doesn't matter if PJ disowned her. He never stopped loving his son. A father would never abandon his child, no matter how much they fail to fulfill his expectations.
Yeah, PJ pretty much told us that.
That's what being a parent is all about.
Are you saying you know, Simon?
Don't look at me like that. I know. I don't have a son myself.
All
but
right,
I have
then.
a father. He's still back in my hometown, managing the printing plant my grandfather started. He'll be turning 80 soon. He wanted me to take over the place, but as you can see, I'm out here. But I know how this whole thing works. Even though I haven't seen him in forever, the minute I go home, he'll welcome me with warm, open arms.
Okay. I will look at the trophies.
I've seen the bedrooms of countless violent criminals, but this
Look, don't you know that smoking
on a
a cigar is
completely
bad
different
for
level.
you? Come on, statue.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond insane. I've seen the bedrooms
Oh.
of countless violent criminals, but this one is on a completely different level.
That's pretty great, though.
It's beyond
They-
insane.
And then you go look at the statue on the other side again, and she gives an entirely different comparison again.
All right, let's finally look at this thing.
You sure it's okay to press that?
Won't know until we try.
Hey, it's Woodstock. Look, a peace sign.
Mm.
Yeah,
Love and
inverted peace sign.
man. Even I can figure out what this is from. It's Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Grateful Dead, and Led Zeppelin. But I shouldn't have to explain it to a music nut like you, right?
That isn't a peace mark. It's upside down. You don't need to be a music nut to see that.
Who says that's the top part? If you're looking from Lisa's head, this is the top part, making it a big, fat peace mark.
No, this is the ground.
Where's your proof?
Well, the light switch is over here.
The red seeds.
Also those.
Seeds go in the ground, right? That makes this wall the bottom. Lisa's head is clearly at the top. Period.
That's arbitrary.
Also, Agent Jones. Led Zeppelin never played at Woodstock.
Ooh, get him.
He's the murderer. You caught him. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep looking at things then.
What's that?
No murderer would make that
A
mistake.
hunting trophy. A brown bear. With a dragonfly eye patch.
Why is it smoking a cigar?
Why isn't it smoking a cigar, Simon Jones?
It's probably
Get with the
supposed to
times, Simon
represent Philip
Jones.
J. Clarkson's body.
And the elk is?
Helena Doman.
So that's why it's got such good taste in fashion.
It's also a
And
male
this one
elk, isn't
is
it? Because
Galena
don't
Clarkson?
only the males have the antlers?
I think you might be right on that.
Why did he want to line up corpses that were killed in different places, all together in a single room? Red seeds?
Yeah, you saw him already.
He's
When did this
representing
get
a
here?
human with a hunting trophy made from an animal. I feel like I'm looking at a piece of modern art done in really bad taste.
It's not very tasty art. Oh, there's like... Okay.
I think we, by interacting with one of the
Okay.
statues,
She played
then
a string of
it
numbers all in order to restore the
triggered,
Clarksons to their former
like the
glory.
next bit of information.
I think you're right.
Yeah. According to Morgan's story. Matches up with the files, too.
But the only proof of that is the confession she privately gave to Morgan just before she died. Galena Clarkson was also murdered immediately after she confessed. Don't you think it's all a little too convenient?
Well, story-wise, yeah.
And the sacrifices. None of the FBI's official records contain an example of an actual human sacrifice.
I wonder when we're going to figure out what the fuck the sanctuaries are, by the way. I keep forgetting about those.
Aside from the cases that Francis Zach Morgan handled, that is.
There are tons of examples of animal sacrifice, though. And remember the witch hunts back in the Middle Ages?
Meaning?
Meaning, there are always exceptions to the rule. And Morgan alluded to the existence of some sort of journal, right?
Gurnal, right? My thoughts in it every day.
Oh, you mean like a
He
journal?
said he read it in
Yeah,
Professor
whatever.
R's lab.
Guess I'm not smart like you.
I guess we're not all smart as Aaliyah.
If we could find that, maybe this would all become easier to swallow.
The report didn't mention anything about a journal. And if it truly did exist, it surely would have been submitted as evidence. Unless he tried to cover it up on purpose. Or...
Unless the journal never existed in the first place.
exactly.
I'm allowed to look at the PJ-esque bear head again. That's interesting. I get to keep looking at these photos of Daniel, and I'm not really sure why.
Sure seems like our friend Daniel here was just destined to suffer. He crossed the entire continent and married into the Clarkson family, all for the sake of the woman he loved. But then the love of his life became a drug addict and ended up murdering their very own daughter. And she too was murdered as part of her big brother's conspiracy. Finally, in order to prove that he could take responsibility for the family, he gave up his right arm to his father-in-law, who got blown to bits soon afterwards. And to add insult to injury, all the inheritance went to PJ's secret heir. If I had to go through all that, I'm pretty sure I'd go crazy.
I don't know.
What do you mean?
He found someone he loved so much. He moved across the entire continent just to be with her. That's beautiful. It also seems that he was eventually able to make an identity for himself and Lou Carre as well. After I found his daughter's body, I interrogated him for a bit. When I told him we were gonna do an autopsy on her body, he didn't react violently in any way. I remember him looking relieved and tired. Kinda like someone who'd just woken up from a coma.
We all know what that's like, right?
Yeah. We've
Who
all
hasn't
been
been there?
comas.
Yeah. All right.
That's probably the thing we need,
He
so...
was
Probably.
going back over the Le Carre case together with the Greenville case.
Such a strange picture of George Woodman at the bottom there, head on like that.
and I
That's
see
weird.
Usher there, too.
Just as I thought, these two cases are connected.
Who's up at the top
but in a
right? Is that the
different way
nurse?
From what I originally thought.
The very top right to me, top left is nurse, top right is Polly from the side.
Polly from the side.
Yeah.
It?
Yeah, glasses, the hair is tied up, white hair.
Where's top left for you? Is it the one above
Sorry.
Anna?
The one I'm calling top left is the most visible one that's on the far left, that's Greenvale. So it's left of Anna, there's a smudgy one that I can't tell, and just left of that is a mostly red photo. That
And that's
one
Fiona?
that's Fiona. The top right one, which
see
is
that.
above Nick and Diane, the one above that is Polly.
Yeah, if the top right one is or rather is not Fiona, then yeah, that's Polly.
Yeah.
Anna Graham.
Okay, yeah, Fiona is the one on the left. I couldn't tell very easily. I thought the Polly one had a hat.
Like a goddess being worshipped in a sanctuary.
Oh, and now I can tell that smudgy, hard-looking one is Jack. Jack something, it says.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
the Raging
Miss
Bull.
Clarkson was found on the bank of a river in an area that had been fashioned into an
Wait, so then where's his wife?
The
I don't
person
know.
who gruesomely ended the life of that young woman must be brought to justice.
I completely agree. They both still had their whole lives ahead of them.
The Le
Yeah, it's weird
Carre
seeing George
case
Woodman without
and
his
the
hat.
Greenville case.
Yeah.
According to my investigation, the one key that links both cases is Francis Zach Morgan. But if we look at the cases from his point of view, we see one more connection. The red seeds are also present in both cases. I believed that he was the one who brought them to both towns. But maybe... No, never mind.